Hello students, welcome to my channel. In this video we're going to learn how IELTS Writing Task 1 process is answered. So you can see that in my series of videos what I'm covering is I'm helping you to understand IELTS Writing Task 1 one by one. Of course we have categories, and the categories include your process, map, line graph, bar graph, table, and the mixed graph. And I'm gonna make videos one after the other so that I can help you understanding these tasks one by one. So I always believe that the process questions and the map questions are easier compared to the questions that contain data, because lots of students that do face issues when it comes to organizing the data. They feel that we need to write a lot of things, we need to write each and everything, but it's not important in task 1 as we have discussed. So I'm gonna help you to clearly sort your answers as well. So writing task 1 in IELTS is all about how you sort the tasks, how you organize them, how you write a coherent response when you are answering that question, understanding the question, of course. So whenever we are starting with our IELTS process answers, what we need to do is, so basically it's like a graphical representation you have. Guys, just one advice again, I would always suggest you guys, whenever you're watching my videos, make sure that you open the PDF simultaneously and you are reading as well from the PDF. Or what you can do is you can take a reading for like 5 minutes and then start watching this video so that you can understand. Otherwise you would feel that, oh my god, what am I doing? Because whatever I'm helping you out, I always give a content in the form of PDF in the description below. And then make sure that when you are listening, you're making a couple of notes if you want, just to be on the safe side for yourself. And when you are making those notes, you would be able to understand what I'm trying to say here in a better way. So this is like a system that you should be following, a process that you should be following when you're watching my videos. Otherwise watching videos is not that helpful. So you should know how to utilize our free content in the best possible way you can. And to be frank, you can easily get a band 7. You don't need any tutor if you're just watching these videos in the way I just spoke. All right, so let's start with our process diagram that we get in the exam. So what happens is, you would be able to see in the PDF as well, I've given you a task. So in that task you could see that there's like a cycle. You can see that there's like steps which are being given to you. So what is basically a process? A process is something which starts with something and it ends with something, right? Let's say you have a process of photosynthesis. Everyone is aware that how photosynthesis is being done, how it is done. So basically trees, they release carbon dioxide, right? And trees, they release oxygen, plants, and we inhale that oxygen, while we release carbon dioxide, and trees or plants, they inhale it. So when it comes to your process, we know that what is a photosynthesis process. It's like when carbon dioxide is being inhaled by the plants and oxygen is being exhaled by plants. So this is the process basically. And this particular process helps us to breathe on earth. So this is very important, of course. And something similar you would see when it comes to IELTS process related questions. So you would see a couple of stages, would be like 4 to 5 stages, could be 5 to 6, could be 7 to 8, could be 9 to 10 stages are there. What you have to do is you need to organize that data and you have to write it, that like what are the stages that you can see. You need to write it basically. And when you're writing it, you need to make sure that you're following a good vocab range, you're following the band descriptors, coherence, cohesion. Your response should be coherent enough for the reader to understand it. The simpler your responses, the higher your band score is gonna be. And then you need to make sure that you're not making spelling mistakes and take care of the grammar as well in order to get a band 7. So step 1 in all the writing tasks ones, it's gonna be the same. You need to analyze the question, look at the question, see what it says, and try to plan it. When you're planning it, right, note it down in your notebook and like start writing that what you would add in your overview, what you would add in your main body para 1, what you would add in main body para 2. Like you've got 2 main body paragraphs: introduction, overview, main body para 1, main body para 2. This is the structure that we are using for all writing tasks. Step 1, plan it, analyze the question, look at it, read the statement, try to see, like, try to understand the question. If you don't understand the question, you will not be able to answer it properly. So make sure that you understand the question, you read the question properly, you're mentally active when you're answering that question. It's not like you're dormant and then you're trying to read the question. It won't be helpful. So even when you're practicing, make sure that you're 100% attentive when you're trying to look at the question. And when you're looking at the question, make sure that you are able to analyze it properly in a way that you can write what the question says, what the diagram says. Step 1 would remain the same. After your planning, you can start paraphrasing the question statement, and paraphrasing is nothing. It's just like writing the same sentence but using different words. However, make sure that you don't change the meaning of the. Also, in paraphrasing, it doesn't mean that you have to change each and every word. This is not paraphrasing. Paraphrasing simply means you're rephrasing the same sentence by using different set of words. However, it's not mandatory that each and every word of yours is going to be different. No, it's not that case. So it's like you can maybe if the words in the question it says depict, you can say illustrate, to demonstrate, or it shows it. That's it. This is what the word paraphrasing itself means. Do not change the meaning of the sentence. Make sure that your paraphrasing is 100% correct. There are so many words where, like, for which there is no synonyms. For example, plastic bottles. That's what we're gonna cover in the in this video as well. That task. Plastic bottles has no synonyms as such, you know. So don't try to, you know, Google the synonyms for plastic goods or something, because that's not gonna help, and rather that's gonna reduce your score. That's gonna waste your time. So make sure that you stick to few words which you feel that, you know, that these words have no synonym. So I cannot replace plastic with any suitable word that sound exactly the same as plastic. So once you're done for the paraphrasing, and you can always watch my videos in order to understand paraphrasing in a better way. After you're done with paraphrasing, you need to see what your overall, you need to write a band 7 overview, which means your cohesion should be taken care, and you need to present your answer in a logical manner, especially in the overview. The overview, what does the overview mean? The overview again means it's like writing 1 or 2 sentences, and maybe just one complex compound sentence you're writing, where you are telling the examiner that this is what I can see at the graph when I just look at it, like for the first time or the second time, that this is what it's overall about. Overall is like you're introducing the task in a way that the examiner knows that, okay, this is what we're going to discuss later in the main body paragraphs, but this is the overview of the, you know, the entire task, the process which is written there. Okay, like if I talk about the daily routine, like in order to understand what overview exactly means. So overview is basically, let's say I've started making the video, and in the very beginning I've given you an overview that this is what we're going to cover in this video. That's the overview. So you don't need to add details, you know, each and every step or something. No, overview is simply what you can see in the graph and writing it in a way that is logically organized and coherent as well. So that what it means. So the step 1 is gonna be paraphrasing the question statement. Step 2, overview. Guys, you need to pass these 2 stages before you start writing your main body paragraphs. Again, if your overview is less than band 7, it's not that useful even if you write great main body paragraphs. So make sure that you spend a lot of time writing and understanding what overview is, because without a coherent overview, you might not get a band 7. It's so simple. So make sure that you are, again, you know, practicing enough. So let's say for this task, the question says, always like read on the screen as well with me, the diagram below, it shows the process of recycling plastic bottles. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. So when I am trying to, like, I always plan the question, so I'm gonna make a plan that what a flowchart is this, because this is a process or a diagram, or a flowchart means the same thing. It depicts a 9-step recycling process. Now, how the process is being started? It started with the disposable of plastic bottles, right? So basically what we are doing, we are disposing of the plastic bottles, and then that plastic is being, you know, it's gone through a different stage before that plastic is being converted to consumer goods that we can use again. So this means we are trying to reuse the plastic as max as we can. And why are we doing that? Because to save the environment, of course. We don't want to we don't want to produce more and more waste, and that's just to save the environment. So what does the process include? The process include, first of all, that plastic waste is being collected from our houses, and then it's cleaned, it's processed, then, you know, its pelletization happens. So it's like you convert it into a sort of powder form. So basically, what does the word pelletization means? It simply means you are trying to convert the fine powders or your materials to a more useful form, like it's more manageable form. That's why, you know, we can use the same plastic to make stationery or goods, as it's seen in the diagram. So if you look at the diagram, I'm just reading the diagram as of now, so that you know, you can see a band 9 response as well. So how this is happening. So this is basically a cyclic process, because it's not like it's ending with something. It starts with like the trash van comes to your house, right? It's a lorry basically, and then that lorry is collecting plastic from your bins, and then it's going to the recycling center where it's like getting sorted. It is also called as sort of like processing plant, where it's sorted. After that sorting thing done, it is then compressed into blocks. So you know, you can see that in the first 4 stages, it is the plastic is being compressed into blocks, you know, of the form of squares sort of thing, and then it is being crushed. After the plastic is being crushed, you know, you can see the granules form, and then it's being washed. So if you see that in the 6th stage, it says producing plastic pellets, and then the plastic pellets are being produced. Though these heated pellets are basically used to make raw material, and finally it goes to producing end products, as you can see, a t-shirt, the containers, some stationery items, and finally again we'll dispose of those items, and then again it's a cycle. This is why when I'm writing this answer, I'm writing it's a cyclic process. Why it is a cyclic process? Because it is repeated. It's basically repeated. Also, one more thing you have to take care of is the tense. Make sure that you're using the present tense, because that's not something happened in the past. It keeps happening all the time, so we need to use the correct tense also when we are trying to write this. All right, so as of now, I have explained you a couple of things, which include how to paraphrase, how to write an overview, and I've also explained about this diagram, that what does it represent. Now we're going to write our final answer, and make sure that the tense is the simple present one that you use, because that's gonna be useful in this answer. When it comes to your map, you need to take care whether it's a past tense, whether it's a future tense, right? Because that's gonna depict accordingly. But then here you can simply use the simple past tense, or maybe the simple present tense, or maybe the present continuous if required. So the question, my answer, starts with the diagram, illustrates a 9-step process involved in recycling plastic bottles. Overall, the process is cyclical, beginning with the collection of used plastic bottles and ending with the production of new consumer goods, which are eventually discarded and re-enter the recycling loop. So the process is cyclical. How it is beginning with the collection of used plastic bottles that we use and then we dispose of, and then how it ends with the new consumer goods, and then which are eventually again discarded, and then it re-enters that recycling group. Now, why I've used the word cyclical? Because the process is repeating itself. This is why. Make sure that whenever you're answering these process related questions, you use the word cyclic, if it is cyclic. If it's not, then you don't need to use it, but most of the times it is. So make sure that you are aware of this vocab, because this is actually important for you to understand that this is not something which is ending and then, you know, it cannot be done again. All right, and besides, it's about recycling. So all right, so my main body paragraphs are gonna add the details. So initially, that's a step 1. Used plastic bottles are being collected from recycle bins, and that's transported by a lorry to a recycling center, again, which could be a processing plant as well. And then there, the bottles are then manually sorted, as you can see a man has been doing it, and then it's compressed into compact blocks. You can simply write blocks as well. It's not required to be used the word compact as well. If you feel like I don't get that word when I'm writing, it's completely fine. Then these blocks are subsequently crushed into small fragments, which are then thoroughly washed to remove impurities. Now, why I've used the word subsequently? Whenever I'm writing a process, I know that there's one stage, then the other, then the 3rd stage, and the 4th stage. So it's going to be a couple of stages. This is why we need to use these words like then, furthermore, these are then processed, subsequently. Subsequently is like a follow-up stage we have. So we need to use these words like initially also, the process begins with, right? So we need to be aware of this vocabulary that is required in order to write a process-related answer. Now I'm going to read my final paragraph, the last paragraph, which contains the details. So following the cleaning. So I've added in my main body para 1, I've added from stage 1 to 4, and then afterwards from stage 5 to 6, 5 to 9, I'm covering in the last paragraph. Following the cleaning stage, the plastic pieces are transformed into pellets by a specialized machine, as we can see. And then these pellets are then heated to form a raw material, which serves as a foundation for manufacturing a wide range of new plastic products. And finally, items such as containers, bottles, clothing, and stationery are produced from the recycled material. Again, you can, if you don't want to write this much, you can also combine these two sentences at these pellets, so following the cleaning stage, the plastic pieces are transformed into pellets, and comma, and these are then heated to form raw material, full stop. Then you can write that from this raw material, it gives, we can manufacture a wide range of products such as containers, bottles, clothing, and stationery. That's it. So you can combine this as well. It's not required. I have given a little extra explanation, but it's not required. So any writing task 1 or 2, can be run in hundreds and thousands of us, because each person has a different way of writing it. So you don't need to copy paste my response or try to learn it. It's just an ideal answer. I've written it in my way. You can write it in your way, but I'm just telling you that you can combine these sentences as well, because if you try to write more, you're likely to make more grammar mistakes, which I definitely don't want my students to make. Try to write somewhere around, again, 170 words, so that you're able to complete your tasks on time. Time management is very, very important, and also you'll not make grammar mistakes. If you make more grammar mistakes, your band scores are likely to reduce. The last sentence of our answer is, once these products are used and disposed of, they become part of the waste stream again, thus continuing the recycling cycle. So this is how we write this answer. I've written a couple of tips also, like for example, how you need to use passive voice, and then technical vocabulary that you need to use, such as compressed, crushed, pellets, etc. And then giving it a sequence. For the sequence, you're using these words such as initially, subsequently, thereafter, afterwards, finally, and yeah, the cyclic nature, as I've already explained, that's a very good vocab word that you should use, just to let the examiner know that it's a cyclic one. And the better your vocab range is, the higher is your band score gonna be. Overall, what we have understood in this video is that how IELTS Writing Task 1 process questions are answered. It's always like it goes from one stage to another. And as you are, I'm aware, I can assume that now you're able to understand how IELTS Writing Task 1 process-related questions are being written. If you want more help, of course, you can write your answers. You can send it to us. We'll send you a feedback, or you might book lessons with us. We would give you an online feedback, like live one-to-one feedback as well. So thanks for watching this video. I hope I've covered everything. If you want to learn more, you can always message us and we'll be able to help you out. Have a nice day.